Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Pause up, pet pals. Welcome to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Now, some dogs just bow wow us, but how amazing they look, and some by the clever tricks that they can perform. But there's a group of dogs who are real life savers, and you're about to meet one on the show today. Lagatha is a beautiful, I'm saying beautiful, Newfoundland mix. What's her superpowers? She is a regular blood donor for dogs in need of blood transfusions. Now, we have a couple of two-leggers here to share her tale, and they hail from the Mount Laurel Animal Hospital in New Jersey. So please, at this time, give pause and applause to Dr. Rob Mankowski and the operations director of the blood bank and Lagatha's pet parent, Deborah Consiglio. Whew, that was a mouthful, everybody. Welcome to the show, you two, and Lagatha.
Thank you very much.
Now, these folks are here to bring to attention something your pet may need. We hope they don't, but a blood transfusion. The blood transfusion may just save their lives. There's a number of reasons why pets do need blood transfusions. We're going to dive into that. But first, tell us, Dr. Rob, a little bit about your background. I guess there's like over 70 veterinarians at your Mount Laurel Animal Hospital?
Yes, we're one large facility here in South Jersey.
Wow.
And we've been kind of growing for the last 45 years. But we're about 30,000 square feet, and we're actually planning another expansion because the demand for our service is very high. And we have a wonderful, amazing group of people here, over 300 employees, including, over 60 doctors, almost 70 doctors here, and doing a variety of different services from our primary care to our 24-hour emergency service, our ICU. We have multiple specialties here. We have a mobile service. We have our blood bank. So we have quite a lot going on.
One, man.
Yeah,
You're everything.
Yeah.
Do you have a drive-through window for fast food too?
I wanted it for our pharmacy, but we weren't able to do it in the plan. So that was on the.
Having a drive-through pharmacy, that'd be great. Well, maybe it'll happen.
We do, however, and that's because of our farm. We're on a 17-acre farm, so because of the farm and the wetlands associated with those, we weren't able to do a drive-through. So I'll take the farm because we have a lot of awesome animals outside that people enjoy.
Well, that's pretty cool. Deborah, you wear many collars there at Mount Laurel Animal Hospital. I introduced you as the director, the operations director of the blood bank, but you've got some Vanna White initials after your name too, right?
Yeah, I graduated from Harcum College in 99, so I've been doing this for a long time. I'm also a veterinary technician specialist in emergency and critical care. I received that in 2011.
Cool.
I work in the ICU a couple days a week, and then I do the blood bank on the other days.
All right. And bring that camera for all you lucky people tuning in to our YouTube one. Bring the star of the show as we pan into this beautiful, beautiful Lagatha. Deborah, tell us a little 411 on your sweet pup. And she's not a little pup.
No, she's about 95 pounds. She's 4.5 years old. She was a rescue. She came from, unfortunately, an Amish farm. So we call her a teacup Newfie because she's only not very large. She looks like a black.
How big do Newfies tend to get?
Usually well over 100 pounds. She's actually my fourth one that I've had.
Okay. All right. And what was it that made you say, you know what, Lagatha, I got a deal to make for you. Would you like to be a blood donor dog? I mean, how did that all happen?
So we were just kind of getting the blood bank started here right about when COVID happened. She had just turned 2 at the time. And a lot of the national blood banks were having a lot of trouble keeping up with the demand for blood products, especially with COVID and people not coming in to donate. So we started really pushing it here at Mount Laurel. And we really expanded over a little over 2 years. I figured I would just try it. Some dogs don't want to do it. You know, laying on a table for 10 minutes is really hard for some dogs, but she does great. Currently, we have about 25 dogs in our program.
You have 25 blood donor dogs?
And
I
about
think
6 cats.
And 6 cats?
Yep.
You really have to negotiate with the cats, don't you? I mean, you have to give up, your life savings. What do you do to bribe a cat to donate blood? And just as I said it, my cat Casey just went, meow. Casey.
Unfortunately, the cats need to get sedated for it because they're definitely not going to sit there.
Do you do a little gabapentin or what? Or is it sedated?
Like IV sedation.
Okay. All right. Well, Dr. Rob, as my cat just jumps up above me, walk us through this. How does it, let's cats first and dogs. What's the safe way? Deborah mentioned it's about 10 minutes for the dogs, but walk us through.
Well, she does all the collections, so I'll have her walk you through. I could talk about all the conditions that,
let's go with the conditions, and then Deborah for 200. Let's go for the steps through. So when would a dog, a cat, a rabbit, whatever, a companion animal need a blood transfusion?
Well, probably the most common thing may be trauma. So injuries. So dogs obviously often getting hit by a car. Sometimes they may have a surgery that they may require extra blood, whether it's removing something or, they ate something that they shouldn't have and there's blood loss. There's some autoimmune diseases that actually the body will start destroying the red blood cells in the body. So causing, that to plummet. And so without blood, these animals will not make it. So in the time being, especially for the autoimmune diseases, we have to give them medications to stop that immune disease process, and then give them blood to support them until the body will stop destroying the blood cells. So would it also be, let's say our dog or cat got into our medication and isn't irping, that's the medical term, right? Irping. What could happen if they got into toxins? Could they need a blood transfusion? Sure. I mean, toxins, just as simple as over-the-counter Advil. Dogs often get GI ulceration and significant GI bleeds from just those alone. So, other toxins, rat poison. So rat poison's a big one, where that one's very dangerous and can cause them to lose a lot of blood.
And I actually teach pet first aid. I'm a master instructor. I have a veterinary approved program, Pet First Aid for You. And I learned the color of the gums could indicate maybe internal bleeding, right?
Yeah, that's a great thing you can do at home. And it's kind of a window into the vessels. So lifting their gums and seeing what color it looks like. And nice and pink, like our healthy gums, like our gums look, is what they should look like. And when they become anemic or lack of red blood cells or low red blood cells, it definitely looks pale. Okay. Low blood pressure can look pale as well, and lack of oxygen. However, dogs with really pale gums, that's a red flag. You got to get into the vet.
All right. Hey, everybody. We're speaking with Deborah Consiglio and Dr. Rob Mankowski. They're with the Mount Laurel Animal Hospital in New Jersey. And when we come back, we're going to walk through the steps of what it is involved to have your pet maybe qualify to be a blood donor. So sit, stay. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. With us today are Dr. Rob Mankowski and Deborah Consiglia from the Mount Laurel Animal Hospital. And Deborah, you're the operations director of the blood bank. You've got a lot of vet tech initials after your name, and you are a proud pet mom to one of your main dog donors, and that's Lagatha. So walk us through the process, if you would, Deborah. What's involved? Because people may want to see if their dog would like to be a donor.
So typically our donor dogs are between the ages of 2 and 6 years old, at least 55 pounds. They can be bigger than 150, but it gets a little bit harder to put them up on the
Okay.
table when they get to be that large. So what we do here is it's called a temperament screening. Basically, it's just to see if they'll actually lay down for a few minutes.
Okay.
Because some dogs
Right.
just do not want to lay down on a table. If they get through that, then they'll have a physical exam with our doctors here. And then as long as everything looks good, we send out some screening blood work. Takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get back. And as long as everything looks good, they get cleared to donate. So then we have them come in. The whole process takes about 20 minutes or so. They come in, they get lots of snacks, lots of belly rubs. We shave a little bit
You
of hair.
already tempted me. Okay, keep going.
We shave a little bit of hair on their neck. We do a lidocaine block, just to numb the area so they don't feel it. And then we collect a unit of blood. And then they get a bandana and an ID tag and whatever snacks they want. Chicken, peanut butter, cheese.
Oh my God, heaven on earth for a dog, right? What is Lagatha's favorite treat for donating blood?
Anything.
Oh,
Literally.
Lagatha, you're not a fussy eater. What is her personality like? What makes her? Because I spotted you on a show about a month ago, and Lagatha has a little bragging rights, right, Deborah? Lagatha was on a show about dog heroes. Tell us about that.
She was just one of the dogs chosen for the best dogs of 2022, which airs on the CW.
Oh, just the best dogs. There's millions of dogs out there, Deborah. Come on. This is pretty awesome, right?
It was one of, I think there were 7 dogs on the show this year. And they happened to find her because she was here for a newsreel when we were doing a blood drive one time.
So she's pretty chill on the table, right?
Yeah, she's pretty chill all the time. We call her the 95-pound cat. She sleeps
The 95-pound what?
cat. She sleeps 23 hours a day.
And let's tell a little bit about how she's helped. I mean, well, one thing I did want to ask, and maybe Dr. Rob, you can answer this. Just people have different blood types, and some blood types can mesh with others. If you're the universal donor O, or if you're like me, my motto in life, be positive. There's a little bit harder getting blood. What's the deal with dogs, cats, and others? Do they have different blood types? How can dog A donate to dog B?
I'm B positive also.
Nice.
That's well, there's 2 main blood types, A and B.
Nope, that's cats.
Sorry, DEA negative and DEA positive. Sorry about that.
Say that again for dogs. What are they?
DEA negative and positive. And
DEA.
Yeah. And so positive and negative. And so we want to generally give the positive to the positive dogs and the negative to the negative dogs.
So why does it say DEA? Do you know this answer, Deborah?
It's the antigen. Can't remember.
Oh, okay.
It's a very long word. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's one of the antigens.
Okay, and for cats, you were saying it's different. What is the cats, Deborah?
Cats go by A and B, and then there is a very rare AB type, which you don't really find.
What about rabbits or goats or any other?
So there's no commercial blood type testing that could be done at an actual hospital. You would have to send it out to a lab for that. So it's kind of, we do a cross match and hope for the best that it's going to be okay. And then if everything looks good, then we'll give it to the recipient.
So the cross match, just seeing if you mix the blood together on a slide and see if it agglutinates or kind of clumps together and it looks like it's not meshing well. That would be something called agglutination.
So how serious is the scene nationally about the need for blood transfusions? Either one, who wants to jump in?
So we've been very fortunate with all of our donors that we actually haven't had to go to too many commercial blood banks recently to buy blood. I know that they are, if you do try and go on their websites to purchase it, there's usually a limited number that you can buy if they actually have it in stock. But we've kind of been supporting ourselves mainly for at least a good year.
That's good though, but it is serious. I mean, as humans, we go and donate blood. We know we're going to get cookies and help out. Is this something that needs to be, I don't know, broadcasted more? I didn't realize that the need for the transfusions. And Dr. Rob, you shared some of the reasons why a pet may need a blood transfusion, but what can we do more to get the word out, or how can we encourage a pet parent who may have a dog or a chill cat that would qualify?
Well, there's not going to be many hospitals like ours that have the capability of getting, collections, because, the smaller hospitals will purchase them from commercially available, or they'll refer the patient to where there's blood. So sometimes if we didn't have blood and, there's a patient here that needs it, we will call around and get the blood from another hospital or refer that patient out. That hasn't been the case for us for a long time because of our blood bank.
Well, thanks to Deborah
Right.
and Agatha.
Exactly. So we have also 300 employees that if we really needed something, we could reach out to them via social media and say, hey, listen, we need blood now, like urgently, or contact all of our donors and say, hey, we need it now. But so if somebody's looking to donate, obviously find a larger facility in your area of a veterinary hospital and see if they're taking donations. Usually it's going to be one with an emergency hospital and a very large hospital that has that capability.
We just have a couple minutes left. Deborah, hop in and share a story where Lagatha's donation probably saved that dog's life. Do you have a tale?
So we had Oso. He came in about 2 years ago. He was a young golden doodle. He happened to get out and get hit by a car. Unfortunately, he had a lot of internal bleeding and he needed to go into surgery. We had 2 dogs meet me at the hospital to donate, Lagatha as well. And then during the course of his stay, he also needed, I believe, 3 or 4 units of plasma. So he got pretty close to probably 8 units of blood from 6 different dogs. Blood products.
How is Ozo now? Please tell me good news.
Oso is living up in Connecticut with his dad.
And doing good, staying out of traffic. Look both ways. Oso.
I don't think he's allowed off of a leash ever again.
What is something you love about Lagatha? We know that Lagatha is a superstar as a blood donor, but how does Lagatha make you a better human?
She's very calming. We had a rough day at work. We all have them. Just come home and sit on the couch, and she just wants to sit up and snuggle, and tell her whatever, and she just listens. Really.
What's your 411 on your pets, Dr. Rob?
Oh yeah, I have 3 dogs at home and a cat, and they're all awesome, different personalities. My dog's probably large enough, but not a great. She's a little anxious about being handled, so we're working on that. But they're all adopted, and they're awesome. So, but yeah, dogs. She's the epitome of the dog spirit. Like just wonderful, warm, and so loving.
Well, hand down to Lagatha as we wrap this show up, everybody. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Rob, I got your name, Mankowski, Dr. Rob Mankowski and Deborah Consiglio. They are with the Mount Laurel Animal Hospital. You guys check out their website. It's MLAHVET.com. And at this time, I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Trevra. It makes wonderful products for dogs and cats. It's TEVRA pet.com. You go on the site. If you put in Arden23 at checkout, bing, 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 you're going to get a special prize for them. I thank all you stations coast to coast airing our show, and especially you, Pet Pals, for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show also on YouTube. Go to fourleggedlife.com. And until next time, this is your host, Arden Moore, saying to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there, paws up.